all these people come here like once a month to do that.
God, we're on knock.
They're all playing
Caught up in,
Pokemon,
they don't, like we were talking about missiles coming and this and that, and these people are like playing Pokemon.
Hey, are we live on?
We're live, we're live.
Pan it around a little bit, you know, it's good.
God.
So the blind leading the blind, man.
Yeah.
All these prophecies. We'll go ahead and
God, the blind leading the blind, and we was just talking because you know, all these people they're unaware, oblivious to the to what's happening, what times we're in. You know, they're all playing Pokemon on their phone. You know, and World War III could pop off at any moment. You know, Lord willing, it does. You know, Con. We are the real Hebrew Israelites. We want to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash.
Double honors goes out to our elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity in Babylon, America. All right. So today I'm going to go in on the curses a little bit. Because often people will ask, you know, they'll question if you're actually the Israelites, you know, the so-called black, Native American, and Hispanic people. So through the Holy Spirit, we know that we're the Israelites, all right? Because we're going to go in on the curses, and these curses are they fit our people, all right? They don't fit these Edomites, you know. It's all about the so-called black, Native American, and so-called Hispanics, all right?
And they damn sure don't fit the Amalekian Edomites in Israel today.
Con, yeah, they don't fit the fake Jews, you know. So the brother's going to go ahead on Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Con. So, you know, we know that the so-called black man, Native American, and so-called Hispanic man, they're not keeping the commandments, right? They've been taught by Christianity that the law is done away with. So there's nobody out here keeping these commandments, you know, except for the remnant that repents. And you know, we're trying to do the best while in our captivity, you know. You want to bring out that Malachi 2:2?
This is Malachi chapter 2, verse 2. If ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart.
Con. So the Israelites, we're the greatest people on the planet Earth, you know, but they don't know that because of these curses that have been put upon us, you know. Our people walking around call themselves all kinds of bywords, you know. Blacks, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, you know. They don't go by their true identity, which are Israelites.
Oh, yeah, no. I got a quick precept too.
Kind of bring it out. God, you know, these people all made a point to come here and play Pokemon today. And, you know, do you think the commandments are on their mind?
Nope.
You know? And I was driving up here, drove past the Catholic church, and it's, you know, the parking lot was full. And they even have the 10 commandments on the front of their parking lot. I noticed today that they have the commandments, you know, on stone in front of the parking lot. And, you know, it just shows you what type of darkness these people are in. 'Cause the commandments are right there in the parking lot, but yet they're breaking every single one of them, you know? See, and the pit bull wants to come and hear the word, you know?
Right?
Those animals, they're drawn to this truth. This happens all the time.
I'm gonna keep going, brother, because I don't see it.
Con.
This is going on verse 16, Deuteronomy 28. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field."
Con, the so-called black men and Hispanic and Native American men, hey, we're cursed in the city and in the field. You know, you got the so-called Mexicans working, making you know, small wages in these fields, picking the fruits for all these heathen. You know, and then in the city, you see our people getting gunned down. You know, you don't see these Edomites getting gunned down like they shoot Jake. You know.
Going on verse 17. Cursed shalt be thy basket and thy store. We grab a step for that.
Go ahead.
Is that basket in the store? What is that? That's our food, man. I was brothers were putting up pictures of the different types of foods we have here and the different types of foods they have in the UK. You know, showing you this you know, things like Heinz tomato ketchup, and all the ingredients over here, man, is like a whole extra paragraph.
God.
You know, they have foods over here that are illegal in different countries.
You know, Kalyal he posted something on social media. It was like energy drinks. They poured an energy drink, like 2 Red Bulls in this container, and they put a hammer in it, and I forgot what else they put in there, like some vinegar or something. But they were able, after the mixture being submerged in that energy drink, that hammer literally just folded. You know, showing you that the stuff they put in these foods and these drinks,
yeah, we use,
they're fatal.
We use Coca-Cola at work. You know, sometimes if we get like concrete or something that fills up a pipe.
Oh yeah, Coke.
Yeah, you pour Coca-Cola down there and it eats the concrete.
If you get a lot of battery acid on your vehicle post of the battery on the wire, you clean it with Coca-Cola as well.
Yeah, or even the blood when there's accidents on the streets. That's what the cops use to clean the blood off the street. You know, is Coca-Cola. You know,
and people drink that. I've seen people drink that like every day. They'll have a couple bottles of it, man. This is verse 12, or Salakia, Ezekiel 4:12, and thou shalt eat. Salakia, thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with the dung that that cometh out of man in their sight. So,
yeah, you're eating shit.
Yep.
And, you know, even like right now, I live in Broomfield. You turn the water faucet on in the restroom, in the bathroom, and you can it reeks at first. You know what I mean? I finally to the point now where I'm always in the habit of, as soon as I turn the water on to brush my teeth, I take a step back, just so I don't have to smell that stench. You know.
Verse 13, it says, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I drive them.
Well, and that's, you know, the word Gentile just means stranger. So,
hey, how you doing?
The word Gentile just means stranger, all right? So when he's talking about these Gentiles, what he just read, yes, the Israelites have been scattered in every single nation. So they're among the Gentiles as a curse. So that's why they're all our people are in all these different false doctrines, you know, serving other gods just like the Bible said they would, you know, instead of the true power, Yahweh. All right. So, but that's what it is, you know. Our people have been scattered and they're among the heathen and the Gentiles.
And what do the heathens and Gentiles promote? They promote Red Lobster. They you know during the time of what was it, the Great Depression, lobster and shrimp, those were some of the more common foods because they were actually cheap and worth nothing, man. But here it is, Esau just puts the flip on it, and now you have Jake. Anytime they want to take their woman out, they got to go take them to have some lobster tail.
Yeah, and they think that's a elegant, extraordinary meal, you know, not knowing that they're eating an unclean diet, you know. It's an unclean diet according to the scripture, you know.
And the world promotes it.
You got bacon for days in this country, you know.
Verse 18, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
So that's self-explanatory, you know. No matter where we go, we're cursed, you know. And who's saying that? The Bible. The Bible's saying that we're cursed. But you have Jakes now. They love being in this captivity, you know.
And then you have Jakes that learn a little bit of something, and the next thing you know, they're wearing a shirt that says King. And but we're still in a place of servitude, man.
Khan.
You see, glory comes after the struggle, man.
Khan.
You gotta strive for that crown.
After you endure, you know, you got to be made hard. When you're part of this truth, you got to be made hard. You know, that's what we're doing, preparing for Jacob's trouble.
Yep.
You know,
Though we are kings, man, we're not glorified to that state yet, man.
Khan, we're doing this work, which is a delight in Yahweh's eyes. While, like I said, these people are walking around looking for a Pokemon. You know, there's hundreds of people out here doing that. You know, showing you that, you know, hey, this place is there's no knowledge in the land. You know, the stability of their times, these people don't have it. You know.
Yep.
Think about when Jacob trouble comes. These people are going to be, they're not going to be able to deal with reality. You know. Starting out with the house of Israel.
Khan.
Yep. Going on verse 20. Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand to do, for to do, until thou be destroyed.
Until thou be destroyed. So our people have been in this slumber to the point where they literally don't consider who they are. You know, they don't know who they are. You know, and after you know, the more you learn in this truth, there's a verse that says, increase in knowledge increases thy sorrow. And you know, it's a true thing. You know, it's a, you know, it's a vexation to see all these people. You can't even have conversations with some of them, you know, because all they want to talk about is some meaningless shit. You know,
Even reading, like I was reading David yesterday on how he separated, you know, he said 10 days, give us 10 days, and you know, we will eat, you know, our food, which was the plants, seeds and stuff like that, and they eat the king's foods, you know, and they seen that their wisdom and understanding was greater than the ones that ate the food of the kings.
And what we're sitting here doing here, this is a separation. You know what I mean? We're here preaching this word, and like I say, look at them. They're playing a meaningless game. That's a separation. You know. Go ahead. But yeah, it says until thou be destroyed. So these curses, you know, fell on the generations of past too. You know. So, you know, they were destroyed to the point where they called themselves Moors when they were in Europe. You know, they called themselves Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas, you know. And I was actually watching, because I wanted to touch on this today, so I watched a little documentary on the Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas yesterday. So the Mayans were like up, like by Mexico City. The Aztecs were by the peninsula south of Mexico, and then the Incas were actually not even in Mexico. I didn't know that, but they were in South America. You know, on the west side of South America. I guess their whole region was like just mountains. It was all the thin strip on South America. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
Yeah. I didn't know it was the mountains, but I knew that they were.
Yeah, because when they said Inca, I always assumed that they were right there in that, you know, closer to Mexico. But they were, and then in even a more ancient time, you know, Israelites, they were calling themselves the Olmec.
And that proves who they are too, because there's many accounts, even in the Maccabees, it talks about Israelites making pyramids.
Right, Khan.
Shalaki, I was thinking about the book of Daniel when I was thinking about that. It was not.
When you said David?
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah, you don't have any other people that have made pyramids other than us, man.
Khan.
Even the Egyptians, man. We made those pyramids.
Khan. They did that in Egypt, you know. And then when they after they took that journey in Esdras, what did our people do? They started going off right away when they got to these Americas. And then I didn't realize, but it only took, the Aztecs were only around for 100 years, which that ain't shit if you think about it. You know, 100 years ago, my grandfather lived to 92. Yeah. So that would have been like one lifetime, you know. They weren't, and you know what? Yahweh sent those conquistadors to destroy them, you know. It didn't. He didn't let them be in their foolishness long. You know.
Con.
We said, hey, you're gonna get paid for this. That's what we're reading today. You know, the curses of our people. Yeah, because you got to figure when Northern Kingdom was called themselves Aztecs and Mayans and Incas, Southern Kingdom was calling themselves Moors. You know.
Mm-hmm. Nope, and that goes into that. I shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke.
Con.
Going on verse
20, still middle.
Finishing on verse 20, it says, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Con. So those Aztecs, those Mayans, those Incas, they forgot their true power, and Yahweh sent the conquistadors to destroy them. You know, with you know, they brought cannons, guns. You know, they had about 600 soldiers on the first trip. Khan, he brought his blessing, the sword, and then also he also used the you know, the disease. You know, so he, matter of fact, the majority of Gad and Issachar were killed off by disease more so than guns. You know, but you know that's a form of warfare. You know, which, like the brother said, hey, nobody can war with this so-called white man. You know, that's his blessing. You want to bring out Genesis 27 and 40, just so we can go bring out the Esau's blessing.
This is Genesis chapter 27 verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck.
Con. That's the verse that talks about Esau getting his blessing, you know. Right after Jake supplanted him, then you had Esau get a blessing, which was his war, and he lives by that to this day, you know.
And that's characteristic to show you. See, all these are characteristics, man, to identify who these people are.
Con.
So we're reading the characteristics of the Israelites. Now we just got an example of the characteristics of Esau, man.
Con.
So-called white man.
And that's how we know through the Holy Spirit, which is the Word, who these nations are today, you know. But we wouldn't have known that if you know, Abba didn't show up on the scene, you know. We'd still be walking around in darkness. So that was a great mercy from Yahweh to send Abba Bivens, who was Elijah and John the Baptist, through the regeneration, you know. And I don't know if I told you this, but I was going in on this because I work with my cousin, right? And he was sitting at his desk, and I was telling him the story about Abba Bivens. And for Jake, that's hard for them to believe, right? Because they're like, this dude, these guys believe this guy was John the Baptist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
While I was talking to him about this, we have a lead system on a computer, and Abba Bivens' name popped up on the screen, and he goes, and it was spiritual. My cousin goes, what was that guy's name? What was that guy? I go, Abba, he's on, what was his last name? Bivens? He's on, cousin, come look at the screen. I went over there, I took a picture of it too. And right as I was speaking to him about Abba Bivens' name popped up on the screen, all right? For a Jake, that's hard for them to accept, but that was a testament that it happened like that, because he was like, whoa, that's crazy, cousin, that's so crazy. And it built even his faith, you know what I mean?
Gotta hearken unto his voice and unto the words when you see
And when
things.
I went back to my desk and sat down, I was like, ain't no doubt Abba Bivens was John the Baptist, was Elijah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Faith builder,
Yeah.
you know?
But you believed before that, you know. And as
did.
it
Con,
is written,
con.
blessed is he who needs not a sign.
Con. And you know what? And then we do get a sign, though, how much more does your faith build, you know? So, con. You want to grab Isaiah 51 and 20, Ak? 51:20. Yeah, I did a sit down on it and stuff. So on the sit down, I put the video, because I took a picture. I mean, you know, the picture that said his name. You know, it said A Bivens, but hey, that was good enough for me.
This is Isaiah chapter 51 verse 20. Thy sons have faith. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of their fury of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai.
That's how Jake is. They're like a wild bull in a net, man. Meaning they're in a trap here in Babylon, but they're reckless. You know what I'm saying? You know, our people are reckless, man. Probably the most reckless people, you know, on the planet right now, because they're a lot of them. They're into homosexuality, following the ways of this so-called white man. They're in foolishness. Jake will get a fight at the club. You know what I mean? Or anywhere really. You know. I remember I was playing basketball up here. There's a bunch of Edomites up at this 24-hour fitness. Then I went to this other 24-hour fitness down in the hood, and the basketball was different. I was there 5 minutes and I seen a Jake knock out another Jake. You know what I mean? Jake, they're like wild bulls. You know what I mean? In a net.
Lions.
You know. And then who gets charged? Jake gets the charges, and Esau enforces it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, we're 24-hour fitness. You have to press charges. It happened here, and they basically told the dude he had to, you know, press charges on the dude. So that's that wild bull in the net, though. You know.
The rebuke of thy power.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Is that 20?
That's 20.
That's good. That's good. And then you want to grab Jeremiah 24:10 and hold that. And go ahead.
Going on, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee. And we were just talking about that, man. You know, Esau came over here with all kind of pestilence.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it didn't take long neither for, like, basically our people took the journey from the Mideast and what would be Europe today, all the way around Africa, the long way. Once they got here, they got into their building their pyramids like they did in Egypt, you know, and that pestilence that came upon them, it only took 100 years. The Aztecs were only in a civilization for 100 years, which that kind of blew my mind last night when I found that out. That's not long at all. Yahweh, that was quick judgment. You know what I mean?
Yep. Going on. Until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. And that's exactly what happened, man. They possessed it for 100 years and had it taken away.
And it was pretty. Like, they were showing the pictures. Yeah. You know, that city where the Aztecs had all those pyramids and lakes.
Tenochtitlan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that was a cool looking city, man. But hey, Yahweh, that shows you his wrath. That shows you he's the Lord of terrors. Because he sent that white man, so-called white man, to use his blessing and destroy that city, you know. And they were even at the time the Aztecs had more numbers than the conquistadors. They had that pestilence, and they had those guns, you know. That was his blessing. Yep. Israel didn't have.
And ultimately, man, the Most High already gave Israel over in their hands.
Khan. And he didn't have no. Jake, you know, they just had arrows. You know, their weapons weren't as advanced as those conquistadors. You know. Going on. Jeremiah 24:10.
You want me to bring it out now?
Yep.
Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 24, verse 10. And I will send the sword, the famine, the pestilence among them, till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers.
And really, this curse has happened in different places on the planet Earth to Jake, you know? Because it happened in Israel, it happened in what they call America, which is Babylon, you know? It happened in South America. Everywhere we've been driven, we've been consumed by this white man, by this Edomite and his blessing, the sword, you know?
Right. Bring a precept. It's Amos chapter 8, verse 10. And I will turn your feast into mourning, and all your sons, and all your songs into lamentation.
That's the sword too. That's the Edomites carrying the sword too. These kids walk by with all these weapons, you know, like axes. We'll see that the Lord brings out examples when you do this truth. Look at all those little Edomite boys are carrying this. He's carrying his sword. Look.
Yeah, those are Edomites too, man. There ain't no question about that.
Con.
Like a bunch of little rats just crawled out of their hole.
Yeah, good catch. But yeah, they're all with weapons in their hands. Toy weapons. Nonetheless, weapons, you know?
You're here to prove the point.
Con.
Go ahead.
Is
That's
Amos
how we know this Holy Spirit's powerful, man. The Lord sets examples all the time, you know?
chapter 8, verse 10, and I will turn your feast into mourning, and all your songs into lamentations. I will bring up sackcloth upon all joyness, and baldness on every head, and I will make it as the morning of onely sun, and the end thereof as a bitter day.
Con. So yeah, all that stuff has happened to the Israelites, you know. Baldness upon the head, the women, you know, especially the southern kingdom, they can't even grow their hair, man. They have to wear the weaves and the wigs, you know. Judite women, you know? Yeah, southern kingdom women. And now our women too are, you know, like the brother Kalyal says, hey, when his women's combing their hair, there's like a whole bunch of hair in the drain, you know.
Yeah,
coming out their head.
Yeah, I had it one time. My drain wasn't draining right, and I shoved a hook in there, and there was a whole thing of hair like this long.
Yeah, man. All right, so where we at? And then Ak, you want to grab Job 5:19?
Going on here. Yeah. This is going on verse 22 of Deuteronomy 28. It says, "The Lord shall smite thee with consumption, and with fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish."
And that mildew, that word, I looked it up, it goes into paleness, all right? So like being sick, you know? That's what it's talking about, you know?
Yeah, it's all that showing inflammation, a fever.
And we were just talking about the Aztecs and the Incas, and then, hey, that's one of Esau's biggest weapon was putting disease on them, you know?
Yeah, that was the first version of chemical warfare being used was when Esau came up with them smallpox.
Con. You got something?
No. Job.
Yep, 5:19.
5:19.
Go ahead and bring that out, huh?
Okay, this is the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7.
My bad. Hold that for a second, all right?
Con.
Bring that out next in a second. Go ahead, I'll keep going.
Going on. Verse 23. "And the heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron."
So it's dealing with the weapons again. Esau's weapons were, you know, iron, the Iron Age, right? His blacksmith was creating weapons with those metals, you know, and he used those on our people, you know. And now in this captivity, he's going to use that missile, you know, that thermonuclear missile. Because Esau, you know, if Jake was still here and they didn't get destroyed, like if the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Incas were still here, they probably still wouldn't have a missile created. You know what I mean? But Esau don't get down like that. Esau is always trying to advance his weapons, you know?
Going on verse 24.
You could jump to 25 because it's kind of long, so we can...
I'm gonna hit this 24 real quick.
Okay.
Because I got a step for it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all good, brother. It says, "Yahweh shall make thee rain, make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed."
Oh, Khan. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The missile. You know. From heaven shall it come down. God, and you know the missiles at the end of the day, they're gonna take out a lot of Israelites, you know. Or I should say Jakes, you know. These 2/3 are gonna get consumed in that fire because they don't read, you know.
Yep.
No, you're good. Take your time. Powder and dust. What does that have to do with it? When the missile hits, the earth literally flips like the dust, the dirt. It's gonna like flip. You know what I mean? Like this pile of dirt right here. You know, it would be taken up. It would literally be there's gonna be dirt like flipped under because of those missiles, the impact. It's gonna turn the shit inside out. You know? There's gonna be dark. You won't even be able to see when those missiles start hitting in great numbers because there's gonna be dirt and dust and mildew and you ain't. We're gonna keep reading on and go in on this, but we're gonna grope in the noonday. You know, in that word grope, it means to like if you're blind and you're like walking and you're touching to feel, make sure you don't run into things. That's the definition of groping. You know.
I'm gonna keep going, brother. This is Deuteronomy 28, and what did you told me to jump down to?
25.
25. It says, Yahweh shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
So, as a punishment, as a curse, it's a curse for all your people to be in different nations, because now they come up with different. You got Jake's doing Buddhism, you got Jake's doing Catholicism, you got Jake's doing Christianity, and it's because they've been in every single kingdom, like the brother just read. All right, and go ahead and bring in 7. It says, "They shall flee 7 ways." Where's that captivity?
Right there.
Here's the curse. That's still going on. You know we're still under the curses. Just look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our last captivity, America.
This
all
is
right? Let him bring the one of Job because it goes right with this. Go ahead and bring that out. But here's the 7 ways that we had to flee. You know, it's these 7 captivities.
This is Job chapter 5 verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
So literally the brothers up here, we've died in 6 different captivities because our spirits have been regenerated. You know, read on.
Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
In this 7th captivity, hey, Lord willing, if we're a part of that number, no evil's going to touch us. Meaning evil means bad times. Bad times are not going to. No, we're going to have to suffer in Jacob's trouble. That's hard. We're going to have to suffer in Jacob's trouble, but we have the faith and the the hope that, hey, we're going to be taken up in the chariot during the 7th destruction. Well, I should say the 7th and the second end with the 7th captivity. Well, read that again, huh?
This is verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
There it is. We had to die 6 different times, in these captivities. But that 7th, that's where we're going to get taken up, Lord willing, we're in that number.
Bring out verse 20 as well.
7 just being that number of completion.
Bring it out.
In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
Because the elect, during the Jacob's trouble, when Walmart trucks aren't, restocking these grocery stores and stuff, hey, the men of the Lord are still going to eat, and we don't know how it's going to happen, but we have the faith that we're going to be, because the scripture tells us we'll be taken care of,
You will be tried though to your furthest limit.
We don't know if a bag of manna is just going to fall in front of us.
That's the spirit, because that's what I'm thinking, The chariots could drop manna, we wake up one day and feed the whole family, But you think that's going to happen to a Jake or a heathen?
Or the 2/3 Jake might have, been saving up all this stuff, been watching Doomsday's preppers. And then the faithful man just walked up and walked right into this guy. The Jake that saved it all was at work that day.
Or you're gonna have some Edomite freaking out and like wanting to serve you, like bringing you food. You know what I mean? Or some heathen, you know? Because it says in that day, hey, the heathen will cleave to us, because they'll know like we're separated.
Yeah.
You know?
So you don't know exactly what's gonna happen, man. You just gotta have faith that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna get you through it, man.
Daily bread, you know? And this is the true stability, you know? You want to jump down to 30, or no, actually 29. Deuteronomy 28, 29.
Going down to verse 29 of Deuteronomy 28, it reads, "And thou shalt grope at noondays, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in the ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee."
Con. And why are we going to be groping at noonday? Why are these heathen going to be groping at these 2/3, Jakes? Because like I said, those missiles, when they hit, there's going to be dust and dirt everywhere. It's going to be in the atmosphere. It's going to block the sun out. You're going to be like a blind man feeling your way around, you know. Go ahead, you got something?
Ecclesiastes chapter 11 or chapter 12 verse 3. "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened."
Con. It's going to be dark when they look outside, those people working. That's what that word grind means. You know, even people say it now. Oh, I'm on that grind, you know. Well, the Bible speaks some slang, you know. They get all these ideas from the Bible, man.
This is Matthew 15 and 14. "Let them alone, they be blind, leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch."
Con, and look at all these people. They're looking at their
Pan
phones,
the
looking
camera
for
around.
Pokemon. This is the blind leading the blind right here, man. And these are a mixture of heathen and Jake, you know. But the heathen, the Jakes, they may as well be heathen, you know.
Yeah.
They're acting like them.
Because they're
Well,
intermingling
they're
with all this madness.
uncircumcised. They're uncircumcised to the truth, you know. So they're just as the missile's going to be for the heathen and these Jakes, you know. Make no mistake of it, you know. I mean, come on now, really? You're going to come to the park to look for Pokemon? And they do this, the reason why we know is because we used to teach up here, and we were like, what's all this commotion? But that's what they're doing, man. The blind leading the blind. You see, some of these people run into each other because they're looking for Pokemon on their phone, you know?
Yep. And what did it say? That both shall fall into a ditch, man.
Con. And those missiles are going to touch these people, you know?
This is going on, verse 30.
And I'm sorry, you want to bring out Job 5:14 real quick? 5:14.
This is Job chapter 5 verse 14. "They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noon as in the night."
Con. Met with darkness, right? All right, go ahead. I'll back on Deuteronomy. We're on 30. Just going on in the curses, and again, the reason we're doing this lesson, because people will say, "Oh, well, you may share this truth with somebody a little bit," and they're like, "Well, how do you know that you're an Israelite?" You know, well, because my people fit the curses. All right.
Yep.
You know, you got something?
I was reading it, and it was going kind of with how you were saying.
Bring it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it goes with it, but
That's all right. Bring it out.
this is 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 6. "For though I would desire to glory, I should not be a fool, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear, lest any man shall think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heard of me."
Con.
We're just out here speaking the truth, you know. We're not trying to.
Yeah, we're there. Even if it's vexes us, we still gotta change it. You know, we can't speak our words. You know, we're not gonna speak a prosperity doctrine. You know, we're not gonna speak soft words in the heathen's ears. You know, we're gonna tell them like it's written.
Going on, verse 30. "Thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
God. And so that's what's going on here in America. You know, all these women here, if they have a husband here with them today, well, 10 out of 10 times that relationship is a how would you put it, like an unjustified marriage, because she's already fucked somebody else.
And this,
You know?
and this definitely came into pass too during the colonization of the Americas.
God. Oh yeah, the conquistadors were going in on our women. You know.
And then what do you have next? Thou shalt build a house. Who's building the houses, man? Jake.
God.
Thou shalt plant. Who's gardening, man?
God.
Who's gardening for Esau? Jake.
Con, you everywhere, like
I never seen an Edomite gardener.
con, right? And if you do, he's like the News 4
They even-
one,
they have
Channel
a-
4 gardener.
They have a movie
He
called
has a high position as a gardener.
yeah.
But the Jakes, hey, that's a common thing for a Jake, you know.
Yep.
And like the brother said, building houses. You got all these multi-million-dollar houses up north over here, and who's building them? It's Jake. But who lives in them? It's Esau. You know.
God.
That's why the roles change in the kingdom. The so-called white man is going to be building the kingdom up for us, and then after 1,000 years, we don't need his ass. You know. Where we at?
Verse 31.
31. Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away
Con.
from before thy face, and shall not be restored unto thee. Thy
Con.
sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Con. And that, all you got to do is close your eyes and picture picture when the conquistadors got here. You know, they did all that. You think they didn't violently take the oxes and the asses from the natives?
Which really just represents your assets.
And that still
Con.
goes on in these Latin tribes and all the way down from Mexico all the way to Central America and South America.
And that still goes on
It
today,
still
man.
happens. It
You
still
work-
happens.
You work your ass off over here in Babylon.
Con.
You know, and you slip up once.
You're
You know, say
fired.
you break your leg, and you can't go to work for a month. You're gonna lose all your assets, man. Esau's gonna come and take. He's gonna come
Con.
take everything from you, man.
Con.
But you
Got-
die. Then guess what? That debt moves on to your kids, and then now they're taking their assets.
Con.
You
Con.
see, which at the time, you know, was your ox and what have you. You know, now you have cars. You know, you have your different things such as that.
Yeah, man. And the oppression is like I said, we're still fitting these curses, man. And Esau, he's an oppressive nation, you know. Let me bring this out through the Spirit. This is Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach, and that means shame, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord Yahweh. So we're subject to payments, man.
The iniquities of our fathers.
God. Because why? They went off.
Rocket
So
stop.
these-
Whoops.
these-
I'm
these,
so sorry.
It's all right. The animals are drawn to the truth more than the people.
Come on, Bubba.
It's true. Like how many dogs have literally tried to walk up on our signs, and it's not the people. I learned that from the brother called y'all. You know, he would tell me about the animals. He said, watch how the animals react. Because it started out with the butterfly, you know. Giant yellow butterfly, right when we closed camp, my first day of camp with the brothers. This giant yellow butterfly flew right over the whole camp, and right over the camera, you know. And he said, hey, the animals react to this.
Even downtown, you had a wasp land on you and just chill on your.
Gone. Yeah. And the wasp, what do they go for? Sweet, right? They want honey. So what? This word is sweet, you know. And it's bitter though too at dealing with the balance, you know. Con. Yeah, bring it out.
Con, this going on. Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Khan, so, hey, how do we know we're the Israelites? Did the Edomites' sons and daughters get given to another people? No, the so-called white men's, their kids have not been given to a different nation, but our kids have been.
CPS. It still happens today.
Khan, it still happens in these school systems, you know?
Child support,
God,
child protective services. They go out and take all the Israelites' children and give them to Edomites.
Khan. Or then when you have the Edomites who will adopt a Jake,
They had a
you know, and bring them up in all kinds of foolishness.
I was watching a cartoon and they were making fun, and they had in Texas, it was like, you know, you go to an animal shelter, he went in there and it was a bunch of Jake kids, you know, that the immigration had taken from the parents.
Yeah.
He's all you know, he's pointing them out. Oh, here you have a, you know, a Puerto Rican, this and that, you know, a short haired, you know, they're pointing them out like they're dogs.
Yeah, and that's what they did to the Southern Kingdom when they brought them on ships. You know, they had them on auction blocks. You know,
Let me grab this real quick.
Khan.
This is Joel 3:3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, and that they might drink.
Khan, these Edomites are wicked people, man. This is in their nature, man. For them, that's a natural thing for them to that's why they don't think twice about spilling blood using their sword, their blessing. You know?
I see it.
For somebody to just treat somebody's children like that, the so-called white men, when they were selling the jakes on auction blocks and we're throwing them in cages right now over on the border, you know, but yet they want to come in the name of Christianity and in the name of you know, they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that shirt, NASA, could you get that? Can I get your shirt on the camera real quick? NASA, that means deception in Hebrew, you know.
Thank you.
Thanks. See that NASA? That's deception. They paint themselves as the righteous, but in reality they're the wicked. So they deceive.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Going on verse. Let me finish that off. It says, "And there shall be no might in thy hand, the fruit of thy land, and all thy labors."
God, hold that real quick. Can you go to 2 Chronicles 29:9? But yeah, this is how we know we are the Israelites, because it's our people that fit these curses. All right, and not only that, in Esdras, you know, Northern Kingdom made that journey to the Americas, and it's all in the scriptures. And the more you study this truth, the more your faith builds on knowing, hey, it's plain as day who the Israelites are. Go ahead.
This is 2 Chronicles chapter 29, verse 9. For lo, our fathers have fallen by the sword. Our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this.
Con, you got Jake men. You know how we know we're in captivity? Because you look around at these Jakes that are out here, none of them is growing out their beard. None of them is, you know, doing the work. We're supposed to be priests, but they'd rather be Pokemon finders, you know.
Con.
We're supposed to be priests. How? What is that? Is that not a huge discrepancy? You know, you're supposed to be a priest if you're an Israelite, man. Meaning, know this Bible. You know, like the back of your hand, you're supposed to know it.
Mm-hmm.
But where's their time invested? These people are off today. This is what they chose to do. You know?
Con. Can you keep going up?
Con.
This is Deuteronomy 28:33.
And I'm sorry, could you jump to 36?
Con. In 36, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shall thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
And wood would be dealing with Christianity, the wooden cross, and stone dealing with Muslims, the Nation of Islam. Our people are in that thing, you know. They're both serving wood and stone, and these are not gods that our forefathers and the patriarchs, you know, David and Solomon, and the men spoken of in the Israelite men spoken of in the Bible. Hey, they weren't serving these wood and stone gods. But this is a curse. Our people are doing it, you know, because of the Edomite. It's a whole domino effect. He got that blessing, which was his sword. He used it on our people, and then he gave them all these abominations and all these false doctrines, you know, as a curse. Con, you want to read 37?
Come, verse 37. And that shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Con, now you got Jakes calling them all kinds of bywords, calling themselves, you know. You got Jakes in England calling themselves English, you know. What's that? The boxer, what's his name? Anthony Joshua. There was a heavyweight fight just a couple months back. It was between two Jakes, a southern kingdom and a northern kingdom, and one was representing Mexico, the other one was representing England. But they're Jakes, you know what I mean? They're supposed to be calling themselves Israelites, but now they're an astonishment and a byword, like the brother brought out. And then you want to grab Jeremiah 24:9, huh? 24:9 in Jeremiah. Like if we started doing a poll and just talking to these Jakes walking by, hey, what are you? They would all say something different, you know, because they've been scattered among all nations. You might have somebody say they're Latino. You might someone that they're Chicano, Hispanic. You know, some of them are gonna tell you they're black when they're Israelites. But it's a curse. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 24, verse 9. I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth from their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb and a taunt and a curse in all places whether I shall drive them.
And a taunt, you know what I mean? Like when Esau, Edom, when they call us Mexicans and these different nations, they know we're not those nations. But do our people know? They don't consider, the Bible says, you know. But Esau knows. He knows who the Israelites are. And when I'm really dealing with those elite, you know, we got the elite picture.
Time, that's on the other side of the captivity.
These guys, they're taunting us, you know. They know we're the Israelites. But our people are so slumbering right now that they'll accept being a Mexican. They'll accept being a black dude. You know? And they carry it with pride, you know?
Yep.
They'll accept worshiping a white savior that destroyed their entire population.
Con. They'll die for that guy, you know? Some of them.
So-called white.
See, and you got death walking right by us too. She looked back smirking, and she's got a skeleton on the back of her coat, you know? And that's what she's going to be in that fire. Dust. 37, yeah.
Verse 38.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what? 41. Let's go there.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Con. So us brothers up here all have kids, but in this society, you can't enjoy your kids in this society, because if once they're a teenager, Esau puts them to work, you know, or they have to work. Because why? Because we're subject to payments, you know. And you know, my oldest daughter, she's almost 20, and you know, we live together, and I rarely see her, you know, because I'm going to work. When I get home, now she goes to work, you know. We don't enjoy it. That's not enjoyment, you know. You see your kid for like maybe, if you're lucky, 10 minutes a day, because we're in captivity, man. You know, and we're subject to payments. If we don't work, then we can't pay our bills, you know.
Not only that, but how many, kids did you strip from their parents, during all the crimes that you've done over here, man? All the slavery and bloodshed that you've done.
You want to grab Lamentations 1 and 5 off? But yeah, it's hard to enjoy this kingdom because it's not our resting place, you know.
God.
But a Jake doesn't see that they're in captivity, you know. They think they're free. They think they're in the land of the free, you know, in the home of the brave, as they say in Esau's kingdom, you know, which is deception, you know. Lamentations 1 and 5 on.
It's in between.
Yeah, right after Jeremiah.
Oh yeah, Jeremiah is Ezekiel.
And then just go from 45 to 50, and I got 3 more precepts.
Schlock. This is Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper, for the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemies.
And it's just reoccurring in 7 captivities, man, you know, to the Israelites, you know. And who is it? It's the enemy. Yahweh calls the so-called white man our enemies. But a Jake, you know, he wants to break bread with Esau, you know. His daughters want to dye their hair like Esau's daughters, you know. I mean, you see that heavy on Jake women, you know, putting their hair blonde. On Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom, you know. And they don't know, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't see the folly in what they do, you know. Matter of fact, they get offended if you bring out their folly, you know. And Jake women have big mouths, you know, and attitudes. All right.
Keep going?
Yeah, we're at 46?
45.
Okay, con.
This is verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee.
Con. So these curses have overtaken our people, you know. And then you ask, how do we know we're the Israelites? Because we fit the curses. All right. And then you got mockers over here. These 2 guys are just sitting there mocking. Esau's a devil, man. And that's how we know that Esau is not dealing with Deuteronomy chapter 28, because, you know, this is not their thing. The Lord has separated us, you know.
Mocking us, but they're 2 grown men walking around looking for a Pokemon.
It's all good, man. That's why we'll have the last laugh, man.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good. You know, we know at the end of the day, man, the elect have to win. And we truly believe and we strive that we're the elect. So, you know, hey, man, at the end of the day, we're gonna have the last laugh. So.
It's already been written.
Yep.
You know, there's a scripture that says we're gonna laugh at calamity. You know, and Yahweh's gonna laugh at their calamity. But no, it says we're gonna laugh in destruction during, you know, at the destruction. Because what did we say earlier? It was the 7th trouble won't touch thee. You know.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Right. These curses.
That's beautiful. And it's a sign. How do we know we're the Israelites? Because their signs all point to that. The curses. Yep. You know? Read that again, That's
and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thee and upon thy seed forever.
So this is still forever, right? You know? It's on our seed. These curses, look. All these people in darkness, man.
Valley of dry bones right here, man. Verse 48, verse 47, because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
God, he didn't take that yoke of iron off our necks until he knew it was a calculated move that we didn't know who we were anymore. He said, okay, now that he thinks he's a Mexican, take the yoke of iron off his neck.
Yep, we broke it.
It's
like on Planet of the Apes. They had all them people that they were grabbing, and when they had the ones that were talking, they were trying to mess with their brain so they couldn't speak anymore, and then they let them back loose with the other people.
And this guy right here is a Jake with his son, and it's like, he hasn't taken the time to break down no precepts with his son, but he'll go take him to the park to do Pokemon. That's what you call slumber.
It's just the folly of the world, man, and what Esau was able to do with it, man.
We give one precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 4, verse 5. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn away their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. Wherefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are waste and desolate as at this day.
That's what you see all around us. Waste and desolation soon come to them. And really, it may not seem wicked for what they're doing, but hey, if it's opposite of this truth and they're not, submerging, baptizing themselves in the scriptures, then it's literally wicked. If you put a priority to do this instead of the truth, that's a wicked thing,
The smallest thing can affect the entire economic, the entire globe. Look, just taking shrimp out of the oceans, what it has done.
Yeah, and the brother just read earlier, hey, the Israelites are gonna, says, let me read it again, at 48, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. So Yahweh is the one who sent this Edomite on our people to destroy our people. But Christianity and 2/3 the Jakes, they can't understand that. They don't even want to call the so-called white man our enemy. And they're astonished when they find out the Bible says that. They don't believe it. So astonished to the point where they don't believe it. Con, you want 49?
49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
The conquistadors. And what does that nation become? The American, right? Eagle.
And really who it's getting on is Babylon, ancient Babylon. But then following with the
nothing new under the sun. It happens again,
following with all these different captivities we've been under, man. And what's beautiful about it is you had the ancient Babylonians use the eagle, the Romans use the eagle, and then
Americans use the eagle.
The Babylon today uses the eagle.
See, and that's how you know these Spaniards are part of that Babylonian empire, because they if you ever notice, you ever gone out to Mexico, one thing you see Mexican flag is the eagle. They have the eagle all over, just like they do here in America.
And then why? It's because they want to be like that Edomite,
Well, the Spaniards are Edomites, but
oh yeah, but I'm talking about the Mexicans.
Mexican now, yeah.
And read that swift as the eagle one more time, off.
As swift as the eagle fleeth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So really that was spiritual, because the Lord put the spirit of me to watch the Mayan video yesterday, and that Aztec video. And hey, I like I said, it blew my mind. They were only around for 100 years. Mayans were longer, but the Aztecs. So that was a swift destruction. You didn't even have time to establish your nation under that byword Aztec, And he sent Yahweh, just like he said in the book that he would. He sent those conquistadors to destroy you. And yeah, I lost my train of thought, but keep reading.
Con, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor
Right.
showeth favor to the young.
That word countenance deals with your face and what your face looks like. You know, like if you're mad and angry, that's how they came here. You know, they took away your ox violently. You know.
Yep.
And actually, I'll go to. I still had a couple highlighted. 56, and then 60. Jump to 60.
Con. This is 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter.
God, and that's what you see. Esau has put that spirit on these women, these Jake women. You know, like, oh, my man ain't shit. Oh, my man's gonna eat. This motherfucker's gonna pay me child support. You know, the woman's against you, Jake. You know, in Esau's kingdom. You know, on social media, you see these women with so much liberty, and that's that vexation. That's that part that's like sad. You see these women, they're married, but they're showing their tits and their ass all on social media, and their husband just has to deal with that. You know, and if he tells her, "Hey, take that picture off," oh, now he's too controlling, or he's jealous. You know, because that's the deception and the mindset that Esau Edom has put our women in. You know, now when you go talk to a woman, you know, that's why we don't even really, you know, aside from maybe, you know, popping one of these women, you really don't want to deal with them outside of that. You know, what for? So she can, you know, go be a Babylon whore.
They just vex you.
You know.
Yeah, it's better not even to ask questions when you're dealing with these
And in the kingdom, hey, we're gonna have plenty of women, and they're gonna be in their right mindset. You know.
Yeah, that's how they're going to be, man. They're going to be tender and delicate to where the sole of their foot wouldn't even be adventurous to touch the ground.
Khan. Meaning
now these things, man, you can't even tell if it's a woman or a man.
Khan. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna have to worry about your woman going out on you, or being, you know, being a whore, you know. But nowadays, here in this captivity, you literally, if you get married in this society, you're marrying a whore. You know,
who still have the audacity to wear white.
Khan, and then they're betrothed by another man already. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because what does Esau do? They you know, they think it's foul to marry a woman when she's like 15, 14.
Yep. And you two-thirds are cool with settling for it, man. After it's already been ran through, you're cool with taking a stale bag of already open chips.
But maybe one of your homies hit it, you know, and you're still down for her.
Yep. Just settle, and you're cool with it, man. You're cool with settling down in this world with that. That's what you threw it away for, man. An opened up bag of stale chips.
And why? Because you're in captivity, you know. But what I'm saying is, Esau, you know, it's actually a righteous thing when a young girl, a virgin, has her time of the month. If you give her to a man of understanding, you know. But in this kingdom, no, they usually settle down like 25, maybe 30. By that time, they've already fucked like
not even in their 20s. Yeah.
20, 30 dudes, you know. And that's why their head's all fucked up, you know. Because they've had 30 different partners, man.
Yeah, that's when we start seeing that little, you know, you could tell, man, just off of looking at them, you know, how they've been, you know, kind of worn out and used and abused, man. I mean, you go look, you could tell if you have something brand new from the store and something that's been open and used.
Yeah, because a lot of these women will have that stench that it talks about in Isaiah. Actually, you want to bring out Isaiah chapter 3 and 20. It's either 24 or 25 or 26. It talks about the stench.
Chapter 3?
3, yeah, 3, 24, 5, or 6. Can't remember which one it is exactly. Yeah, let me bring out the stench first. On the next one, go ahead and go to 60, and then 64, and then 68. Got it, Ak?
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of girdle, a rent, and instead of a well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth,
Yeah.
Slovakia.
And sackcloth is clothes that people would wear to when they're mourning, when they're in a low state, But the brothers bringing it out, hey, it's going to be stench and the ripped up clothes. Because think about it, if a missile or Jacob's trouble hits this place, women ain't going to have the luxury of doing their makeup and wearing their perfume and, or even taking a shower in some cases. You may not be able to take a shower in Jacob's trouble. Right? You know what I mean? Bitches are gonna stink,
They already do, man.
And that's when they're gonna be humble. That's when they're gonna be like, you know what? My man died in the war.
That's why these companies like these douche companies and what have you, man, make millions of dollars.
Me too.
Because that prophecy right there.
God, and if it's written, you can bet on it that it's gonna happen.
You got your Jake's willing to sell out for that, man.
Ian, stay close.
That's why you just keep your eyes on the prize, man. Keep your focus on the goal, man. All right, you get a woman from time to time or whatever the case might be, then cool, man. But if anything gets in your way, then you got to be willing to push it aside, man. Look at Job. What did Job do? Turn around, started kissing his woman's ass when she told him to curse the Most High and die.
Because she was down for him when everything was going good, But when it started going bad, she was, like these women out here.
And you could think that your woman's gonna be down in a time like that, and that's fine, man. But if you're presented where the moment where she gets in the way, then you got to be willing to cut the dead weight, man.
And it all goes back.
That's why Paul said it's better not even to have a woman. You only got to deal with that.
Yeah. And really, when Solomon had all his women, he wasn't sinning because he had a bunch of women. He's sinning because he started going off with their doctrines. So if a woman leads you to that type of destruction or that type of darkness, then hey, that's a bad sign, One of the verses in the Bible says, many men have lost their mind on behalf of a woman, If you're that nigga, you need to change some shit up, man. And it happened to all of us. But the thing is hey, the Lord, the man of the Lord can escape that. The Bible says that the men who are not in this truth, they're going to succumb to that. They're going to fall in that trap, in that snare. Let's go to 64, right?
This is going on Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
Oh wait, no, 60. You haven't read that yet. 60,
okay.
Yeah, 60 and 61.
Deuteronomy 28 and 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Because there's some sicknesses that are written out in the Bible, like the palsy, leprosy, But there's also, our people are suffering sicknesses that are not written, AIDS. It's not written in the Bible. But are people suffering from it? Yes, because this prophecies came to pass,
Diabetes, high cholesterol.
Yeah.
Our people are smitten with it. And it goes back to when the conquistadors put those diseases on our people, because our people weren't. They're immune. They were not immune to those filthy diseases that the so-called white men brought.
And then they spread through unclean acts, man. That's why if you're righteous, then you're going to be kept preserved from these things. But they're spread through like example, talking about AIDS, man. The biggest spread of that is homosexuality. And I know that too because, I could testify a little bit to it more because I went to the doctors recently and they had me fill out all kinds of stuff. And one of them was asking, that question, like, if you prefer people of the same sex or if you've had them of the same sex, because it could cause all kinds of different diseases to arise. And that's what they were telling me too, because we're talking, and they were saying that's the main spread of disease is homosexuality, man. That's one of the main spreads that spreads.
Because it's an abomination. Men shouldn't be lying with men, and women shouldn't lie with women either.
And then it's the same with all these laws, man. The pork, all these, they're going to stir up different diseases as well.
See, the Asians will sit there and sell you little lollipops with not crickets, with scorpions and cockroaches and stuff like that.
God, there's all kinds of abominations going on in Babylon.
Going on verse 65, and among these.
Did you read 64?
No, selected. 64 says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And we went in on that a little bit ago. The wood and stone, people are in darkness, man. Following Christianity, following Muslim, the Nation of Islam, whatever it is, And now the great mercy that Yahweh has given us Abba Bivens, and now our elders, and now here we are, And then you want to jump to 20 or 68.
68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And the so-called Hispanics were also, the Latinos, so-called Latinos, were also taken on ships and made slaves, But obviously we know the Southern Kingdom got here on ships, just like the brother read. Then you ask, how do we know we're the Israelites? Because we fit all the curses, man. Our oxes were violently taken from us. Our children were given to another nation.
We could put all the 10 lost tribes with the other tribes together. Something that these other fake Jews can't do.
So what it was is the Northern Kingdom was colonialized. They suffered colonialism. Is what when you're a slave in your own land, and then the Southern Kingdom were just straight up slaves because they were slaves in a foreign land. So that's the difference, because Northern Kingdom got here after Southern Kingdom. Or I'm sorry, the opposite. Southern Kingdom got here in America after Northern Kingdom, but guess what? It was all the will of the Lord, because now we're joined together and prophesying this truth. So it's a beautiful thing the way the Lord set it all up, And who was that whipping stick the whole time? Esau, Edom,
And that's the fulfillment too, man. The bones coming together.
Ezekiel 37.
The body coming together, man. Because we were once in a place with all these guys, man. The blind leading the blind. So attached to your phone, I'm surprised we haven't heard anybody fall into the lake yet, man.
God.
But we were once doing the same thing, man. But you see, in the midst of all this madness, of all this foolishness, man, the elect are waking up. The elect are being sealed.
And it's a beautiful thing, because hey, we got here different. There was different. We took different journeys to Babylon, but now here we are. The Lord has set us up to preach this truth. And our Southern Kingdom brothers aren't here today. They're not here today, but in the spirit, those are our brothers, and they're also teaching this truth. And if all these curses didn't come upon our people, it wouldn't have went down like this. Where now we're coming out of her, my people, like you say in Hosea. And we're the two prophets tormenting the heathen. Meaning Northern and Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. So-called black, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans. Hey, we are the prophets, and our words torment the heathen when they actually hear this truth. So yes, we are the Israelites. We are the Hebrew Israelites, and we know we are through the Holy Spirit. And Deuteronomy chapter 28 is a huge indicator of who the Israelites truly are today.
Con.
Khan, you can go ahead and. I'm good.
Oh, it's live stream, but go ahead and grab 2nd Esdras 2.
2nd Esdras 2.
Con.
Got so used to the.
Huh?
Got so used to not being on live
Oh
stream.
yeah, I forgot we were live today. 2nd Esdras 2.
Con 2, and then just start at 1.
Khan.
And I'll just call out further precepts as the Spirit goes.
Yep. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 2 and 1. Thus saith Yahweh, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them my commandments by my servants, the prophets.
Right. So the Heavenly Father, man, brought us out of bondage to begin with. And what was that? The house of bondage was Egypt, man. All right, so he brought us out of that bondage to begin with. Go ahead, up.
And now we're in spiritual Egypt.
Yep.
Whom they would not hear, but despised my counsels.
Right. They don't want to. They don't want to hear. They didn't want to hear. Just like today, man. They don't want to hear the prophecies coming out. And in the ancient times, they didn't either, man. That's why they were attacking Isaiah. That's why they were attacking Jeremiah. That's why Yahushua was crucified. That's why all of the apostles were put to death as well. You see, man, you're going to be hated for bringing out this truth, because basically what you're telling these people is what you're doing is destructive, man. The Heavenly Father is getting to rain down 200 million nuclear missiles upon America, man. And this is the mind state that you Americans are in, man. And that's why when this judgment comes and pours down the way that these prophecies say, man, that people are going to be running around like travailing women. Here it is, the year 2020, and we're already in cahoots with Iran, man. We've been telling you this for years, man. This place is over, man. Micah 2 and 10, depart. If you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, man, it's time for you to separate from these goddamn heathens, because judgment's coming to the planet Earth, man. Go ahead, Ak.
2nd Esdras 2 and 2. The mother that bare them saith unto them, go your way, ye children.
Right, which is going, speaking all the way back to the mother of Isaac. Go ahead.
For I am a widow and forsaken.
Right, because her children, the Israelites, this is what they're doing, man. The so-called white man has conquered the planet Earth, set up his images, and told us what to do, man. Now this is what you have going, which you got a lot of Edomites out here right now, but Jake follows right after them, man. Go ahead.
We have Jake, man, out here looking for Pokemon instead of, hey, he didn't teach his son one precept ever.
Yep. Instead, this is their bonding time with their children, is chasing after Pokemon. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. I brought you up with gladness, but with sorrow and heaviness have I lost you.
Right, with sorrow and heaviness, man, we've been lost. Brother, grab me Isaiah 60 and 1, Baba Kasha. Go ahead, brother.
For ye have sinned before Yahweh your power.
Right. We've sinned before the Heavenly Father, man. And how do we get that? By breaking these laws, statutes, and commandments, just like we got in the curses. So therefore, the curses cleaved upon us, man, putting us in the place and the situation that we have going on today. Go ahead,
For ye have sinned before Yahweh your power, and done that thing that is before him.
Right, done that thing which is evil before him, which is going and taking part with the heathens, man. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need to separate yourself from these other nations, man. All right, especially the so-called man who's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Go ahead, brother.
But what is verse 4?
Actually, go ahead and hold that up. Go ahead and grab me that Isaiah 60 and 1.
This is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is risen upon thee.
Go ahead, read that again, brother Salakia.
Arise. This is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1.
Right, so this is addressing the Israelites, man. Isaiah, again, Isaiah the prophet was addressing the Israelites and telling them what to arise. That's why they're upset, man. He wasn't telling them sit down and relax, kick your feet up. He's telling them get up. Go ahead, brother.
Arise, shine, for the light is come.
Right, and what's that light? That light is knowledge, man. And when did that light actually be placed back upon the planet, man, was when Yahweh Shai came upon the scene. Okay, that's when the light came. That's when the truth or even the stepping stones to the kingdom, all right, were established, so to speak. Okay, and all the Israelites were waiting, man. They were all waiting for prophecies to pass because they knew, according to the Torah, according to the prophets, that there was going to be a Messiah. Somebody was going to come that was to deliver all of Israel. So they were all waiting for this man. Okay, and that's why the Pharisees and the Sadducees were doing everything they can to try to maintain their power because they knew who he was, man.
Same fashion, that's where they try to cut us off YouTube, you know?
God.
They tried to, what was the order? That they killed all the babies too, you know?
Yeah.
Now, same thing, they want to take the YouTube videos off because they don't want this truth reaching unto the uttermost parts of the earth, you know?
And the glory of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is risen upon thee.
Yep, go ahead.
The white man's so arrogant, the so-called white man's so arrogant, he thinks he can escape judgment, and that's why he has a space force, and that's why, you know, he literally believes he can change the prophecy.
Yeah, there's a song by the Last Poets, and I'm trying to remember what it's called, but they're talking about that. You have two groups of people, and one. And they both are coming to terms that judgment's coming to the planet, and basically in the song it's that judgment's going to consume everybody. But you have the one group of people and they're saying it's the Most High's will, you know, we ain't going to fight against it. And then you have the other group and they're the Edomites and they're saying no, fuck that, we're going to do everything we can to fight against it. You know, if you want to lay down and give up, that's up to you, but we're not giving up. But you see, it's because Jake knows that they don't have no upper hand against the Most High, man. Esau thinks he's the Most High. Go ahead and grab that now. Actually, let him read one more verse and then we'll jump on that.
Verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth.
Right, the darkness shall cover the earth, man. That's what you see, and that's why this is what's in, man. This is what's to do here in Babylon, and people are cool with it because darkness has covered the earth, man. The so-called white man took his power seat and has totally turned everything upside down. All right, as it is written, I've created a new thing, and a woman shall encompass a man. What's that mean? That she's calling the shots. As they say, she has your balls in her purse, man. That's a true statement today, man.
Pants, and women ain't even supposed to wear
pants. That's only one example of the upside downness, so to speak, of America, and ultimately the planet. Because America, when he calls his shots, what happens, man? All the other nations fall right along line, and that's why we know. All right, another characteristic of one of these people in the Bible, the whore that sits on the beast, man. That's why we know that's America.
That's right.
Go ahead. Finish that verse.
And grows darkness the people, but the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Yep, he shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, man. Go ahead,
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Right, because what you had, what they were discussing, the context of this chapter here, is they were speaking about, you had different Israelites who were actually telling them that, hey, this is the kingdom. After the Messiah was crucified and risen, now we're in the kingdom. Because like I said, man, all of Israel they were waiting for Yahweh Shai. They were waiting for, and that's why they were always asking him, well, now at this time restore the kingdom unto Israel. You know, so you had Israelites that were teaching that, oh, well, we're in the kingdom now. You know, you gotta live your best life. This is it. You know, Esau's falling down and so on and so forth. But go ahead.
And showing you that there's more darkness on the Israelites now in these last days. Because at least then they knew that there was a Messiah coming. These people, they don't know what they're not prudent, meaning considering what's going to happen in the future. They don't have a plan. They don't know that the missiles are going to hit them, you know. Because they believe that their generations will continue forever here in Babylon, you know.
Yeah, look, you got a whole generation of family over there with all blue hair, man.
I saw that shit. Yeah, I saw that.
The woman, the dad, the kid, the grandpa, everybody got blue hair.
Bugged out, you know.
Go ahead.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, continuing on. That they shall not come except there come a falling away first.
So let nobody deceive you. That day, and what day is that? That's the day of our redemption, man. That's the day in which the kingdom will be established, man. That's the day in which Esau will be torn down. But what did he say? That day will not come unless there come a falling away first.
And it's redemption for us, but it's wrath.
And what was that? What was that falling away, man? That was this darkness encompassing the whole planet, man.
God.
Esau has just like the brother said. Oh, he thinks he's a I don't know, a Mexican now. Let him go. Take the yoke off his neck.
Yeah.
See, once Esau covered the whole earth with that cloak, you know, then he allowed you to go ahead and just follow about his way. But according to these scriptures, man, that this truth would come back to us, man.
God. And this is a spirit of slumber right here. All these people,
Yep.
you know, and Esau loves that spirit on these people.
Mm-hmm.
He wants them to be looking for Pokemon on Sunday, you know?
Yep.
He don't want you teaching the truth on the internet. Matter of fact, if they see our video, they may cut it off.
Oh,
you know?
man. You know what Esau's favorite kind of Jake is? Well, I'll just say a 2/3, but you know, they see a crackhead, man. That's exactly what they want. They see you wearing a shirt that says American made. That's exactly what they want.
They see you with your pants sagging. They know they got you. They got your ass. You know.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Actually, go ahead and jump back to.
Get that on camera.
Actually, I'm gonna grab this real quick.
That's the spirit of slumber, man. Spirit. That's right.
That's the whole generation, man. The blind lead the blind. Because what's the man's job? The man is supposed to direct the woman, so then the woman and the children follow suit. Okay, now that's just a complete example of disorder, man.
And that's just heathen, so they're always going to be out of order.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let me grab this real quick, guys. This is Ezra 6 and verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which has been so long without fruit shall be declared.
And because our forefathers slept, you know, they weren't